Welcome to Conversations with Melissa. This is part of Renify's Experts and Influencers series. Renify provides practical, research-based advice, courses, and peer support, focusing on the underlying drivers of our ADHD behavior through courses like budgeting for the ADHDer, home organizing for the ADHD lifestyle, and the ADHD book club, to name just a few. We provide a holistic program that serves to help you thrive with ADHD, not in spite of it. We encourage you to follow us on our YouTube channel or visit us at renify.com to learn more about what we offer. So Patty, you're an ADHD coach and you're the creator of the ADHD Friendly podcast.
Exactly.
You use this language, and I wrote it down because I felt like I wanted you to say more about it. The energy attention vortex.
I said that?
Yes. Pretty good, huh?
That was great. That's mine. No, I'm joking. I don't remember saying that. Well, our attention gets, kind of pulled and sucked, but our energy also does. So I think what I may have meant by that, if I'm trying to recall where I was when I said it, is it's just like, when you think about like a tornado, it's like literally pulling you into it, but it's also pulling your resources with it. So it might be firing you up at some levels. Like I say, like I'll see people and I get so excited and it absolutely gives me energy, but at the same time, it's burning me out. And I have to kind of pay attention to what's my limit. And it's taken a while to recognize what done looks like for me before I'm past done and it's not serving anyone.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of us don't know we have 5 minutes before done or done.
Or maybe
right?
5 seconds.
I'm out. I'm all the way out. I've got nothing left to offer. And now I'm going to be cranky at you because I didn't really realize it. So I wanted to ask you more about your success journal. Can you say what is it? Why a success journal? What is it?
So capturing successes is, in my opinion, one of the most important tools that we can do to support ourselves. If we're not capturing the successes, we don't have a way to tap into them to push back from our negative self-talk. And we get lots of negative messages, as we all know, like so many more than the positive ones. And that's true for every human being, like we're wired for negativity. But with ADHD, I always say like we're like hardwired, like it's just like this connection is so much more. If you think about like the path through the woods, we've like paved it, but like we've got it down. And it doesn't serve us. And the way we can push back on that most easily is by having a way to recall our successes. And again, when we succeed, we tend to, I'm not going to forget that. Okay, but could you call it up in a moment when you're really overwhelmed? And I'm going to tell you can't. Like our brains don't work that way. Outside of like, if you take medication and you're, that's something that you're working on with your doctor and that works for you. If you get good sleep, good exercise, and you're eating nutritional food, like those 3 big foundational pieces are all on board to support yourself. Next in line for me is a success journal, because it just changes everything about how you can shift when you're getting emotionally dysregulated. And doing it is easier said than done. The reason I put structure around this is because I've learned through all of these years, it's really easy to talk about. We might be like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I should do that. And we'll resist doing it. And a big piece of that is we'll resist feeling like the thing that we would write down isn't worthy of being captured. It's not a big enough success. It's not important enough to hold on to. I'll wait until I have a really good one.
It feels like perfectionism a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. And so I'm going to share, if I can, just a quick example. I did a quick example for the conference because I think even deciding to capture 3 successes a day during the conference can be really helpful, because it literally starts your brain looking for the positives instead of focusing on the negatives. So this is just a quick example. A Wednesday, I'll have a booth at the conference. If you're coming to the conference, come visit me. And so I'll be getting there on Wednesday. And so I just kind of like laid it out just with some examples. And I have to say, again, because I had to capture this to be able to share the example, it was really helpful because I started thinking, well, what would, I kind of like started thinking my future self, what would I want to celebrate? So this was kind of helpful for me. So I put that because I'm driving on Wednesday, that I left on time with snacks and drinks in the car, that when I got to the hotel, I toured for options. And again, this is, this is not me celebrating in advance. This is me imagining, and I'm just sharing what I might write down as successes. And then I always say, writing in the success journal is a success. So that like, it can be like really, really small. I can remember being like Melissa just did at the beginning of this session, remembering to take a few breaths and grounding yourself, like literal, like anything that you feel like, you know what, I did do that. That is something that I did for myself is worthy of acknowledging. And so I just have some examples here that and oh, sorry, I'll go back. I don't have everything. Like you'll notice, like some days I didn't fill them in. And I think it's really important to remember something's more than nothing. If you write in it one day, it's more than nothing. If you write one thing one day and that's it, it's more than nothing. It's always, something is always more than nothing. And I think it's important to acknowledge that because we can get into that perfectionism when it comes to successes too. It's like, I'm not going to start that because I won't do it every time.
Well, I like seeing your imagined future self that you've given us a little insight into. Now, I never think about touring the hotel for the food, coffee, where's food, those things, but we always do it.
Yeah.
And I've had a back injury, and that's a stretch for me. So I want to do it early so I can walk at the snail pace that I was walking at for a long time.
Yeah.
But knowing where the food is, what the hours are for those.
I was going to say, take a picture of the hours if they're outside. That's another like quick little hack, because I have just terrible memory when it comes to that kind of thing. And if I catch it on the phone, I'm like, oh, I know I have a picture of it. Let me see what the hours are again.
Yeah, we forget how useful, how powerful the tool in our pocket is, where we don't have to remember everything. What we have to do is capture it. And if we need it later, it'll be in there.
Yep.
Right. The photographs are a great example. And I left our conversation and I thought 23 minutes is very specific. I have to ask Patty, why 23 minutes of outside time?
So it's a 23 and 23 thing, 23 and 2023. I'm trying to go outside for 23 minutes every day in 2023. And this is also what helped me. When I did this, I realized I'm driving from Chicago to Baltimore on Wednesday and back on Sunday. I don't know how I'm going to get 23 minutes in unless it's walking around the gas station, like when I'm filling up. So I don't know if I'm going to get it done those days. I'll be really curious, but it's got me thinking about it already, where I would never have thought about it before that, because I'll leave way too early to walk before I leave, and I might be too tired when I get there. So we'll see. But at least it's given me a chance to think about it now.
What I like is that you're holding space for it. You're not just writing it off. I'm not going to be in my environment and it's not going to happen at all. You're still holding a spot for it. And now I get that it's part of this 23 and 23 paradigm, which, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It could never happen if you didn't make any space for it.
No, exactly. And I'm a structure girl. I don't do well if things aren't structured. So and often I have to create the structure, because if it doesn't exist, I have to put it in place. Because if it's just, oh, I'll walk at some point. No, I won't. I absolutely will not. So I have to, kind of build structure around it to make it work for me. But I know other people, structure feels very confining and restrictive. So like everything else, find your Goldilocks level, right? So there's a just right amount for everybody.
I love that you've got it as Goldilocks, that there's just enough, that it's just right for you. Because on the one hand, there's this idea of structure, you're hemming me in. On the other hand, hey, if I get enough sleep, then I'm my best self, then I can meet new people and I'm not crabbing out and people want to be around me. And that seems like it's not hemming you in at all.
Yes.
Actually,
and then it's really,
element.
What does it give me to have this structure instead of feeling confined by it? It's what does it give me? Like in my case, I walk first thing in the morning. I don't have to think about it all day long. If I don't walk in the morning, I'm walking around going, when is it going to rain? Is it cold? Like, oh, too many decisions.
Yeah, we, at Renify, we've got a PT with pals or exercise with friends, co-working 3 times a week for half an hour. It's like, just get that done first thing. And then it's not on your mind. It occupies energy and space. It's that vortex, right? That energy attention vortex can be a drain wherever you go if there's a thing that you keep holding space for. And it hasn't happened, and it hasn't happened, and you're still holding the space for it.